It's a great book. It is an instant classic. 10,000 Things. The first question that I have is how does one function as an awakened being while simultaneously functioning as personality or an individual self?
Yeah, that's a very paradoxical question, because I don't really have a feeling for being an awakened being. That's very grandiose. Um, that gives me visions of one of these berobed gurus sitting on a throne with people kissing his feet and all that. And I'm just an ordinary person, truly. I'm not some kind of exalted being. It's not like that at all. It's not like that. What I consider awake is understanding that I'm not doing all of this. It's arising, and part of my being is the awareness of that. Other parts of my being are unaware. Other parts of my being are the biology of my body and the messages that I'll never be aware of that are coming from the cells in my body, from outside my body. I'm ignorant of all of that. I can become aware of some of it. Some of it I will never be aware of. And so there's not really this one being in control of anything or awakened. The awakened part is that the conscious myself that we call the ego or me, whatever word we use, becomes aware that it is not everything, that the universe is vast, and what I know of it is almost nothing. Now, that's opposite to a lot of the so-called teaching, non-duality teaching, and that's why I'm not in the non-duality club. It's just on that point, exactly. I think the idea of attaining anything is grandiose. We're not going to attain anything. We're here now. We know what we know in this moment. Whatever may arise in the next moment, I have no idea, and no one else does either. I say.
Thank you.
When you understand how little you know of the universe, you are awake. And I'm not the first one to say this. Some of the greatest minds of all time, like an Einstein, says, the more I learn, the more my ignorance becomes apparent. That's where I'm at. I have no idea what any of this is. No idea. I find myself here. Wake up in the morning, the world is here. I didn't put it there. I didn't make it. I'm not in control of it. I can have some idea about it. I read it in a book or heard it on TV, video or something, and then I take that overlay that I have learned intellectually and I put that on the world like a grid, and I say, oh yes, now I see it's all one thing. Really? You know, the universe is just one thing, and you know that how? Where are you standing so that you're viewing the whole universe and knowing that it's one thing? You don't know that. You don't know what anything is. And that's why I'm not a spiritual person. I have no interest in spirituality. I think it's a dead end. And not all of it. There's 5% or 2% or whatever it is that actually speaks this way. And so people imagine that they're going to attain this salvation or something. That is actually not what's being said at all. What's really being said is there is no fixed you. There is no myselfness that has a duration and lasts and becomes permanent. It's not you find I am and now you've got it. That's Hindu metaphysics, and I don't agree with it. It's not my experience. What the Buddha taught was that what we call myself is made up of various elements. One of them is conscious awareness, but that's not the only one. There's a lot of them. Feelings, emotions, the physical body, those all come together moment by moment. And we create a myselfness out of them, but that myselfness has no fixed essence at all. And so there's nothing to become. There's just this, what is. That's our experience in each moment. And one of the things that I benefited from a lot in coming to an understanding is my years of doing psychotherapy, because then you get to sit with one person in a very strange kind of social situation. It's a social situation because there's two people in the room, but you're having a conversation that does away with all the niceties entirely, and you're allowed to say whatever you want. And what arises there is a lot of truth about what we are as people that I think gets papered over in this kind of, the word escapes me. There's kind of a piety about all this non-duality. Oh yes, oh we're all so loving, and no, we aren't. We're not so loving. Loving is part of our repertoire as humans, and so is snatch and grab. It just is. Look at the world around you. It's not easy to make a living in this world. Money doesn't grow on trees. People have to get out there and do things to survive. And a lot of that is not loving at all. If you are an unaware person, an awake kind of person, you can conduct your life in a loving manner. But if you get your back to the wall and you're really threatened, a lot of that might disappear. And you might find yourself doing things you might not have imagined. And so my critique of spirituality, Emerson, is that all of that is pushed under the rug. Everybody just wants to be so nice and kind and sweet. And Nisargadatta had it all figured out, or Ramana Maharshi, and just, oh, well. And that's I'm not there. It's fine. People want to do that, great. There's something for everyone. I do get that. I don't mean that there's anything wrong with it. That's not my point. But I'm not there at all. Never have been.
You have this in your book. You said, upon seeing this joke, you were speechless, naked, and laughing. Um, I had the same experience. My experience was just like, I was just laughing. I'm like, I don't know anything at all. Everything that I know is completely false. And I just laughed and laughed and could not believe all of these, belief that I had about spirituality, Nisargadatta, everything. Can you expand on that one?
I laughed because I understood that I had been expecting something to happen that was already happening, and it always had been. And I just hadn't seen it. And what it is this world. This world is amazing. It's amazing, all of it. And I'm not making that. I'm not creating the world under a rock so that when you lift the rock, there's all these beings there and they're moving around and have a whole life. Or I was a scuba diver for a long time. You get on a reef somewhere and the profusion of life there is incredible. And Robert Saltzman is not making that be here in any sense, in any way. And that's the joke. We want this power, but we don't have it. And we're never going to. We're seeking control and power, and we're not going to get it. See, we're not. And if that is understood, and this is what I've been sharing with people, and some people really like hearing it, other people think it's awful. We need to come to an understanding of our littleness, our smallness, and the transitory nature of me, which is going to die. This is what people are afraid of. But for me, it's entirely liberating. Entirely liberating. There's nothing to hold on to. I'm falling through space without a parachute. Who said this? Well, you're falling through, you've fallen out of an airplane. The bad news is you don't have a parachute. But the good news is there's no ground. And that's where we are. We don't know anything. It's all occurring. But we do know that the brain is involved and that brains die. So there it is. It's pretty simple. You got a free pass.
Beautiful. It is actually. Let's go back to the Ramana and Nisargadatta, because yeah, people put them on a pedestal, and people get really offended when Nisargadatta or Ramana is challenged, or even right now Rupert Spira is challenged. What's your comment about that?
Someone sent me a video and asked me to comment on it. And I watched the video and I was actually shocked by the false logic that he was using to intimidate a question. Someone asked him a question and he beat this guy up with this false logic. And I laid it out there. And this really became a cause célèbre among some people. Many people took my side, a lot didn't. That's great. It's just religion. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, people like Jesus too. It's fine. But I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in what we really are, not these grandiose ideas that Nisargadatta had. Ramana Maharshi, I don't think, was so grandiose. He was more like a monk who had withdrawn his awareness into himself and sat there in a diaper, and people would, it's okay. But the things that he said that people pick up on are the same things that I would say, except I don't want people coming to sit there and bowing to me for saying them. The main point of agreement I have with Ramana Maharshi is, what you are, he said, you already are. I've said the same thing in other words before hearing that he had said that. What you are, you already are. What does that mean? It means stop striving. You are this now. You already are what you're seeking. And I'm sure this is why you laugh. I'm not sure. I assume this is why you laugh, because you had been striving to find something and you go, oh my God, it can't be this simple. What an idiot I am. I must be, right? That's the joke. Yes. So beautiful. So what does it take for someone to get that joke? Usually suffering a lot, either physically or mentally. That's certainly true in my case. You become desperate and you're hurting, and if you're fortunate, this comes to you. Oh, I see. This is what I have to swallow. This is what I have to swallow. Not this great thing I'm going to become, but this very moment. And in that understanding is the liberation. You are liberated not because you can choose to be anything you want or do anything you want. The opposite. You're liberated because you have no choice. This is it. And whatever you are is what you are. That's what Ramana Maharshi said. What you are, you already are. The thing about Ramana Maharshi that I think confuses people is he also did a lot of preaching about morality and religion. And I don't have much interest in that. And I imagine he did that because there were unruly people and disturbed people, and he was trying to make a kind of a shelter for them or a structure. And that's what the Buddha did too. He preached sometimes for the dumb bunnies who couldn't really understand the real message. He gave them a rule book. These are the 10 tenfold noble path. you know, and it's like the Ten Commandments. There's like rules, do this, don't do that. Well, that's not for an awake person. You don't have to tell someone like me what to do and not do. I'm not going to kill someone. I mean, come on. It's ridiculous. I mean, murder. I might kill someone, but I'm not going to murder anybody. I mean, it's just not going to happen. And I know that. See, I don't need the tenfold noble path. And this is what I see in spirituality. Some people need it. Some people need the Ten Commandments. Well, those are terrible. Most of those are terrible. They don't need that. But they need structure. You need to be told, don't covet your neighbor's wife or whatever it is, stuff like that. That's fine. There's something for everyone. My quarrel with the non-duality world is these people have taken their Christian background, which they should have rejected if they wanted to be awake. There's no awakeness in Christianity, after all. It's a bizarre belief system. The guy was crucified and came back to life, and he's did it only so because you're sinful and need to be saved. And it's bizarre. It's crazy. They were inculcated in that. I'm talking about the Americans, because I grew up there. That's the country I know. And they're inculcated in this belief system. They can't quite buy it, so they start looking. You go, oh, Hinduism, yes, that's the answer. Because you can still keep God. You still have Brahmanas at the top, but you don't have to believe in all this sin stuff. And they glom onto that. I remember in the 70s, my friends would go to India. Why they would go there, I could not fathom. I mean, it's a horrible, there's a caste system and impoverished country, and they go there to be enlightened. It's really madness. And they came back not enlightened, but deeply confused. They had learned that you should bow to someone and sit at someone's feet, kiss that person's feet, be abject, and all of that. And that's what occurred with Rupert Spira. He has people sitting at his feet, eating up every word. And there's nothing wrong with the guy. Seems like a nice guy, but he doesn't have the keys to the kingdom. Why are people bowing at his feet? Why? Come on. It's like a joke. And since you sat there laughing at the whole thing, I assume you understand that that's a joke. You can't teach someone to wake up. You can tell them there is such a understanding where you get the joke, but if you have to explain the joke to them, they're not going to get it. The happening is when it blows your mind, however it happens, not someone lays it out for you. If someone has to explain the joke to you, you didn't get it. Then that's the problem. Yes, I consider myself awake in a good way, but that can't really be taught. I may say something useful. I have done. I'm able to say useful things to people sometimes, but that's not about me. It's about the thing I'm pointing to. That thing I'm pointing to, someone else can point to the same thing. Many people can. All over the world, there are people who know what I know. So if you listen to one of them, they'll tell you the same thing that I'm telling you. You're going to die, transitory nature of reality, everything's always changing, there's nothing you can cling to. These are just known pointers. And so there's nothing wrong with them, but don't make the person who's doing the pointing into your favorite guru or something. Just hear what's said and move on and get into your life. Don't get stuck in seeking. That's the problem with the pointer. It's fine to have a time in your life, hopefully brief, when you hear these things and you go, oh, I see, it's not just about football and girls. I get it. Oh, this is wonderful. Okay, that's beautiful. It's an awakening of its own. But once you have heard that, that's it. Now you have to go forth and make something of that. See, and that's what we need. We need somebody to go, it's you. It's you. It's not this guy you're paying to instruct you. The guy's nothing. He's just what you are. We're all the same in a very deep sense. We don't know what any of this is. None of it. We don't have the slightest idea. All this talk about vibrations and all that, what it means, it's meaningless. Those are meaningless words. We don't know what they're words. We don't know what they refer to. A friend of mine died a couple of weeks ago of COVID-19. He's gone. He can't come back. It's over. He was a nice guy, a really nice guy, and he had a family and loved him and all that. We somehow, those of us who want to be awake in the true sense, we have to find a way to put that understanding in our hearts and be happy, not escape from it by saying, the body's not real. Really? And you know that how? Well, I just know it. Nothing to do with your brain? Oh, no. The brain is just a receiver. It's the real message is coming from God. And come on.